Woman sees a tail sticking out of the kitchen sink, gets closer, she was shocked. This is an incident that occurred in Thailand. A 5-meter-long python broke into a woman's home and ate all her food. The python also ate her cat, Bobo. She found the python in her kitchen cabinet and promptly alerted the police. What a scary situation it must have been for her. Greetings and welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, please subscribe to support our channel. Also, press the alarm bell and turn on YouTube notifications on your phone. Thank you and enjoy. After calling the police, they came with 3 animal rescuers. They quickly resolved the situation. A journalist travelled to the woman's location to experience the extraction of the animal from her house. They dragged the python out of his hiding place and forced him to spit out his meal. It wasn't an easy thing to do. Bobo was very unlucky to have been in the way of the python, and after a short while, the python gave up the swallowed cat. Bobo is not the only cat this woman has. She has 2 others that she is caring for, but it seems the snake did not try to eat the others. Due to the trauma Bobo encountered, he passed away and was buried in the yard of his mistress's house. According to the authorities, a python enters the home of a woman in northern Bangkok on Wednesday. The snake, after swallowing Bobo, coiled up under the kitchen sink while waiting for Bobo to digest. The woman, who is 59 years old, gave accounts of the incident. She said, "I was in the house when I realised that one of my 3 cats had gone missing, and I immediately called the police. I was mortified at the time. As she was searching for her cat, she came across the snake. She saw the tail of the snake peeking out from under the sink. It looked bloated and big, like it had just eaten something. It was there she rushed to the phone, called the authorities and narrated the scenario to them. They arrived in no time and took care of the situation." In the video, the animal rescuers can be seen dragging the snake and forcing it to give up its food. After it was captured, it was reintroduced into the wild. In recent years, a few pythons have found themselves into Thai homes near wooded areas. Some have even been seen peeping out of toilets. The python was too ambitious when it tried to swallow a fat cat such as Bobo. In a 3-minute video uploaded on YouTube, we can see the snake bloated and a bit uncomfortable. According to a scientist who conducted a study, if the snake is able to swallow such a fat cat, it can also swallow a little baby. Even though pythons are common to see in Thailand, the animal rescuer handling the python said it is rare to capture such an incident on tape. It took the 2 men about half an hour to hook a rope around a metal pole which they used to trap the snake. In another carrying news, a huge snake was able to swallow an Indonesian woman as people looked on in surprise. A 7-meter or 23-foot long snake killed and consumed an identified female. While it is rare for pythons to kill beyond their natural habitat, this was the second case that was reported in Java in the last year. How did the woman cross the path with such a huge python? A 50-year-old woman called Tiba went missing on Thursday while checking her vegetable garden. Locals came together to form a large search and rescue party. She was located several days later near a large python with a swollen stomach. It was about 30 meters away from the vicinity. Her sandals and machete were also discovered nearby. As reported by AFP local police chief Hamkar, he said the neighbours were anxious about their neighbour and about the fact that she had been eaten by a snake. They killed the snake and relocated it to a different part of the garden. The snake was sliced and the body of the victim was located inside. A terrifying video of the woman's body being discovered in its entirety in the snake's body in front of a large watching crowd circulated on Indonesian social media platforms. I bet you are wondering how pythons attack and what kind of attacks they launch. The creature might have been a reticulated one that was recently discovered in Sulawesi. There is a possibility that they will grow to more than 10 meters or 32 feet in length and become fairly powerful. As they approach, they encircle and crush their victims, gripping even tighter when the person exhales until they are overcome by their prey. They could be dead within a few minutes if they succumb to asphyxiation or cardiac arrest. Pythons eat their meal whole. They swallow the food bit by bit from beginning to end. There are ligaments in their jaws that connect to other parts of their body and prevent them from breaking them when swallowing their food. According to Mary Ruff, a conservative and research officer for a wildlife reserve in Singapore and a reticulated python expert, The fact that human shoulder blades are not collapsible is a limiting factor in the reticulated python's ability to swallow a human. She explained this to the BBC's news story. She also said that pythons are exclusively mammal feeders, even though they do occasionally feed on reptiles like crocodiles as well as other mammals. Her research has revealed that they frequently swallow rodents and small things, but once they get to a certain size, it's almost as if they stop worrying about themselves with small things. This is because the calories aren't worth it anymore. They have the potential of growing up to a size of their prey. Animals like pigs and even cows can be put in this category. In 2005, people in Florida were taken aback when a python attempted to swallow an alligator whole. During the incident, the snake ruptured, killing both animals. Their remains were discovered by rangers. These predators can be quite choosy when it comes to their prey. If they are unable to find suitable prey, they can survive for long on small amounts of food until they can locate their choice of food. This is not the first time a python has been reported to be swallowing a human being. It was reported in 2002 that a rock python had swallowed a 10-year-old child in South Africa and he died as a result. In March of last year, a farmer was consumed by a 7-metre-long python. This occurred in the same region as the little boy's death. While on the palm oil fields near his village, a 25-year-old from West Sulawesi was attacked and killed. It looked like his body had been removed from the building when the surveillance videos were checked. Last year, a man from the Indonesian state of Sumatra was attacked by a 7.8-metre-long python while working. He was successful in fending off the snake. Even though he was badly injured from the ordeal, he walked away with his life. These events occurred long before they were reported. They were also in remote places and had very few witnesses. Due to this, it was hard to look into these cases. According to the anthropologist Thomas, who had spent decades living amongst the hunter groups in the Philippines, they had been attacked by reticulated pythons at some points in their lives. In his research, he states that adult egg-ter that were physically small were frequently devoured despite the fact that they fought them off with machetes. Even those who are brave enough to keep pythons in their home are certainly not spared. Pet snakes usually turn on their owners when they are mishandled, underrated, or kept in unsecure places. In July 2011, a couple, Jaron and Charles, were charged with murder after their python killed their 2-year-old daughter. The pair kept the snake confined to a tank after using a duvet cover, bungee cords, and safety pins. This was not the first time the snake escaped from its tank. This time, it was found wrapped around the child while biting her face. The little girl was already dead by the time she was found. Law enforcement officials called it more than an accident, since the snake had escaped so many times and its cage was not sufficient. The couple was charged with third-degree murder and manslaughter of a child. Hare and Darnell was sentenced to 12 years in prison. To top it off, the unemployed couple apparently didn't feed their snake either. A starving snake is not a happy snake. It was only 13 pounds at the time it killed the young girl. A Burmese python should weigh about 150 pounds. In November 2016, an apartment above a reptile store became a murder scene after an African rock python escaped through a vent and killed 2 young boys aged 5 and 7 in Canada. The store's owner, Jean-Claude Savoy, was charged with criminal negligence after the boys' autopsies showed puncture wounds and snake bites on the boys' faces and evidence of strangulation. The python in question was Savoy's own pet, and the parents of the dead boys had noticed a missing vent cover in its enclosure weeks before. Savoy's own son, who was sleeping in another room, was completely unharmed. Pythons are extremely sensitive to vibrations, sound, and the heat generated by humans, according to Mia, a snake expert in Indonesia. As a result, they avoid human settlements at all costs, she explained to BBC Indonesia. This is the end of today's video. What would you do if you see a python? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Until next time.